today we are going to continue our trend of speaking about the undead in the Warhammer world. So today we are going to be talking about the Doom Kings. Kings of the dead. Across the arid deserts of Nehekara, vast legions of skeletal soldiers rise up from beneath the baking sands to slaughter those that trespass into their domain. It is a lifeless realm with endless dunes, stained red with the blood of savages and barbarians. This is the land of the dead, where mummified kings are cursed to rule in perpetual unlife. But it was not always thus. There once was a time when the ancient kingdom of Nehekara stood as the crown of human civilization, a golden age, when its cities shone with majestic splendor, its armies conquered entire nations, and its kings ruled as gods amongst men. But this great realm was razed millennia ago through treachery and sorcery. The living perished in an instant, and the dead rose from their tombs. This is the tale of those times. The Doom Kings. Far to the south of the old world lies a desolate, windswept desert. No living thing stirs in this place, but it is far from uninhabited. This is Nehekara, the cursed land of the dead, and the domain of the Doom Kings. Nehekara was once a land of magnificent architecture and noble dynasties. Its warrior kings led golden armies against the barbarian tribes that envied the splendor of Nehekara, and the greenskin hordes that constantly threatened their realm. They fought their wars with phalanxes of spearmen that stretched across battlefields as far as the eye could see, with regiments of archers that darkened the sky with arrows, and with battalions of deadly chariots that rumbled across the land. The Nehekarans crushed all before them in displays of martial brilliance, until their realm reached from the lizard-infested Southlands to the monster-haunted forests of the north. However, the vain kings refused to let mere death cheat them of their lifetime's accomplishments or rob them of their worldly possessions. It was the belief of every Nehekaran king that, upon his death, he would be mummified in an elaborate ceremony, and interred within a magnificent burial pyramid. Here they would await the day of awakening, when they would arise into a golden paradise filled with all their subjects and belongings, which were necessarily entombed alongside their lords, and here would they reign supreme for all eternity. Over time, their necropolises became bigger and grander than the towns of the living. It is said that the honored dead buried within Nehekara outnumber those that breathe in the old world twice over, and the dead do not rest easy. Rulers of the dead. Through blasphemous necromantic magic, the entire population of Nehekara was cursed to a living death. The corrupt sorcerer Nagash instigated a great catastrophe that at once destroyed every living thing in Nehekara and raised the dead from their tombs. The Doom Kings arose from their sleep of oblivion prematurely, albeit immortal and more powerful than ever. The once proud rulers of Nehekara have been reborn into a mocking travesty of life. They have awoken from the slumber of death to discover that they are repulsive undead creatures, bone-dry cadavers whose once palatial realms are but a shadow of their former splendor. They found Nehekara plagued by hordes of barbaric invaders, its ancient cities and proud statuary crumbling from long centuries of warfare, and its bountiful riches plundered by countless tomb robbers. The Doom Kings now fight to restore their vast empire to its former majesty, striking forth from the desert to reclaim the world from the living. The Doom Kings' trusted advisors were their lich priests, wizards of great power whose sole task in life was to prepare the king's tombs and ensure their lasting immortality. When a king died, his lich priests would embalm his body in an elaborate funeral ceremony and inter his remains in preparation for the day of awakening. The undying lich Lich priests, withered and frail from the passing of untold centuries, are now responsible for watching over Nehekara and for reawakening the armies of the Tomb Kings to glorious conquest. The Curse of Undeath. The Tomb Kings reign from their necropolises as they have always done, imitating the life they once knew. Many Tomb Kings behave as if nothing were awry, ruling as if they were still beings of flesh and blood. Perhaps some are truly unaware that they are undead, whilst others are in denial of their cursed existence or have been driven mad by the sight of their own hideous visage. A Tomb King may demand a bowl of sweet figs and a goblet of fine wine, seemingly oblivious that the contents of such a meal would spill through their desiccated bodies onto the floor. When the proffered meal arrives, a Tomb King will simply stare at the fruit, wondering what such a thing is for, until it either rots to dust, or a vestigial memory surfaces, allowing a moment of clarity to reassert itself. In that instant, the Tomb King recalls all the pride, majesty, and greatness of what he was, and the cruel parody of what he has become. Realizing that he will never know the taste of food, the quenching relief of cool water, the sensation of touch, or any other simple joy ever again, the Tomb King will enter a fit of incandescent rage. Ancient and wrathful, all that is left for the Tomb Kings is their hunger for power, their thirst for conquest, and their need for vengeance. The Tomb Kings are unremitting in their eternal war upon those who have the temerity to live, whilst their rightful rulers languish in undeath. The Undying Legions. In ancient Nehekara, a ruler was only as powerful as his force under arms. Thus, the king maintained vast legions and proclaimed their victories proudly so that rivals would know of their strength and tremble. In this way, the names of many legions became legendary. King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, for example, halted several barbarian invasions and felled their foes with spears whose tips were fashioned from the black claws of giant scorpions. Similarly, Prince Sakef's Heralds of Death were feared for their grisly standard from which the skulls of a dozen conquered kings hung, cursed by the Lich Priest of Numos to wail in perpetual torment. These, and 1,000 others, have now awakened from death, striking fear into the hearts of their enemies once more. It was the duty of every soldier to serve his king, not only in life, but beyond, into death. Countless thousands of loyal warriors were buried alive in the great tomb pits of the ancient kings. Assembled in serried ranks, as though on parade, the legions of each king were entombed with all the weapons and regalia of war needed to protect their lord in the next life. Bronze-tipped spears, curved swords, and sturdy shields. Many archers were also buried with their masters, together with huge stockpiles of magically blessed arrows. Alongside the foot soldiery of the King's Legion were regiments of cavalry and gilded chariots, which awaited the day when they would gallop out of the mortuary pyramids and crush their enemies once again. When the Tomb Kings advance to war, they do so with these vast legions at their command, a breathtaking sight of gleaming bone, gold, and bronze. The undead warriors stride unfalteringly across the searing desert and through howling sandstorms as they close in on their foes. Vast phalanxes of skeletal soldiers advance toward their terrified enemies in relentless unison, fighting with a supernatural discipline that no mortal man can hope to match. Slowly, but implacably, the legions of the undead drive their foes before them, guided as always by the unyielding will of their Tomb King. There are some necromantic spells that reanimate long-dead corpses, creating undead automatons that serve the necromancer in a mindless fashion. Such is not the way of the Tomb King's soldiers. Each skeleton in the numberless legions is inhabited by the soul of an ancient Nehekaran warrior. Through the magical incantations of Lich priests, the spirits of loyal soldiers are summoned from the realm of souls and bound within corporeal remains. These warriors are not, then, slaves to the will of an evil wizard, but dutiful soldiers who unswervingly obey their king's commands in death just as they once had in life. However, without about the extensive mummification techniques and magical wards of preservation laid upon the bodies of the Nehekaran royalty. The skeletons of the Tomb King's legions perceive the world very differently to mortal men. They retain only the most pertinent aspects of their former lives, the endless years of training and discipline, the martial skills honed on countless fields of battle, and, above all else, their oaths of fealty to their king. Personality and ambition are ephemeral, and even their names have faded like half-forgotten dreams. The towering statues. To protect the corpses of the kings throughout eternity, the ancient Nehekarans wrought magnificent statues to guard over their royal tombs. These towering sculptures, made in the image of gods, kings, and mythical creatures, were placed in and around the necropolises. Titanic warriors hewn from cliff faces and giant beasts built from whitest marble, darkest obsidian, and blood-forged gold stood sentry beside every entranceway. Ranks of imposing ushabti, statuary carved in the images of a pantheon of ancient gods, lined the labyrinthine corridors of the burial pyramids. Monstrous sphinxes loomed over the sacred sarcophagi of the Tomb Kings themselves, and countless other more terrifying statues lay buried and forgotten beneath the baking sands. The Lich priests learned long ago that the same incantations used to summon forth warrior spirits could be adapted to animate the hulking stone forms of Nehekara's fearsome statuary. Ever since, when the Tomb Kings have made war upon their enemies, constructs of animated stone have fought beside them. These imposing figures wade through the ranks of mortals, crushing their opponents with terrible blows as enemy arrows and sword strokes rebound harmlessly from their rock-hard frames. Reconquest of an empire. The reborn Tomb Kings look upon their shattered lands and skeletal legions, and they are greatly angered. Nehekara was once a powerful and proud nation. Its enemies cowered before the might of its kings and the strength of their armies. Year upon year, its borders expanded, and with the conquered wealth, magnificent monuments were raised to honor kings and gods. The Tomb Kings have vowed that all of Nehekara must be restored. They will not stop until every city is rebuilt, every land reconquered, and every stolen treasure, even the most insignificant of trinkets, is recovered. So as it once was, so will it be again. And behold, the almighty god King Setra did awaken from his sleep of blessed oblivion. His legions, long buried beneath the sands, did arise and stand to attention, awaiting his order. And he did say, "War," and the world did tremble. Grand Hierophant Kateb. I think we are actually going to go ahead and make today a short one, because the next thing we do is we get into the Rise of Setra, and that is a whole thing that sort of launches us into the true history of the Tomb Kings. But what I do want to do before we go is, I don't know much about Tomb Kings at all, so I want to see how many points a skeleton is worth. Let's see, we have to get through all the painting stuff. Wow, there are some really gorgeous, oh man, that's really pretty, holy fuck. Necrosphinxes are great looking. That would take a goddamn year to paint though. Okay, lots of standards. Tomb King army list, here we go. Okay. Heroes, core units. Skeleton warriors, 4 points per model. They cost a single point more than a goblin. And they're worse than goblins, but I'm assuming that Nehekaran Undead is a special rule that makes them worth that. So let's go see Nehekaran Undead up at the top here. books before, because these things are gorgeous, and if you really want, to get an idea of what an army is supposed to be like, the army book is the best way to do it. Because, I mean, they're gorgeous, and the rules are, they provide the flavor of the army. So let's see. Okay, Tomb Kings, wait a minute. Army special rules, here we go. Nehekar and Undead. The undead warriors of the Tomb Kings are no longer beings of flesh and blood, but sun-bleached bones animated by ritualistic magic. These fearless troops are petrifying to behold as they stride inexorably forwards to strike down the enemies of their Tomb King. Here we go. All units of the Nehekar and Undead, with the Nehekar and Undead special rule, are unbreakable, unstable, and cause fear. And they can never march, and can only elect to hold. Okay, interesting. So, for an extra point, you get one less weapon skill, one less initiative, and two less leadership compared to a goblin, but they're unbreakable, unstable, and cause fear. Okay. Interesting. Anyways, thank you guys for indulging my tangent. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't normally say this, but I'm going to say it this time. If you did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate it if you would share it. I know ASMR is kind of a weird thing to talk about with people, and Warhammer is kind of a weird thing to talk about with people. So, maybe asking a lot, but if there's somebody you know who might appreciate my content, I would really love it if you would share it with them. Yeah, and I will see you guys next time.